My career first started at Charlton Athletic at the age of 16. I was, in England we have what you call a YTS. It's a youth training scheme, and I started at Charlton. I spent 2 years, two and a half years there, and I left Charlton to go to Gillingham. I went to Gillingham, who was in the Championship, and at the age of 19, I got in Gillingham's first team. At that time, there wasn't many goalkeepers about at that age, so I was one of a handful. At that time, I also got called up for Wales under-20s, as well as Wales under-21s. By the age of 20, I was captaining Wales under-21s and Wales under-20s. I won Wales Young Player of the Year, the first and only time that's ever been achieved by a goalkeeper, still to date. I left Gillingham at the age of 24 to go and sign for Blackburn Rovers, who were in the Premier League. I spent six and a half great years at Blackburn, played with some of the best players in the world. With Wales, played with some of the best players, the likes of Gareth Bale. Me and Gareth made our international debuts together. I played with the likes of Ryan Giggs, Craig Bellamy, to mention a few. It was tough at the time because Gary Speed was my manager, and sadly Gary Speed is no longer with us. I left Blackburn to go to Aberdeen. I had 18 months in Aberdeen and I enjoyed my time, but I felt it was time for me to move back down to London. I moved back down and I signed for Ipswich Town. While I was at Ipswich and negotiating contracts, I felt it was maybe time that I take that step into coaching. So I did, and then when I signed, I decided to sign for a semi-professional club and follow my dream in coaching. That's when I signed for Arsenal as a coach with the women in 2014. I worked with the women goalkeepers. We had a successful time. I was working with international goalkeepers. I then was also a number 2 to the manager, so not only was I doing the goalkeepers, I was actually his number 2. At that time, I felt that my passion was now starting to go towards coaching. I already had my UEFA B outfield, my UEFA B goalkeeping, and I was doing my UEFA A. I was working with also the Welsh FA in scouting young talent for Wales, but I was also working with the under-15s and coaching the goalkeepers there. Sadly, in 2015, January 2015, my dad passed away. In and amongst that time, I spent a lot of time, I spent the last 14 days of my dad's life with him. Every second, I nursed him. While sitting there, I made the decision that I didn't want to play anymore. I felt that something had gone when my dad died. So I decided to focus mainly on coaching and retire from playing immediately. I then got a phone call from Gillingham to go back as goalkeeper coach. I went back coaching their first team and I thoroughly enjoyed. But then I got a phone call from Arsene Wenger's PA to say that Arsene wanted to meet me. I went and met Arsene Wenger and we had a good chat for about 45 minutes. And then I got a phone call later on saying that Arsene Wenger would like me to be head of goalkeeping at Arsenal. I spent nearly 4 years at Arsenal working with some fantastic coaches, the likes of Arsene Wenger, as well as Andries Jonkers, Thierry Henry, Steve Gatting, Cole Larriman. Steve Bold. And then I decided I wanted to leave Arsenal. I left Arsenal and I went to Vietnam to work with PVF. It's one of the biggest academies in Asia. The project excited me. I wanted to test myself as a coach. Obviously with the language barrier and things like that. So I went to PVF in 2017. I had 6-7 great months there, coaching the national team goalkeepers, working with the national team under 19 goalkeepers, as well as in charge of goalkeeping at PVF. In February I decided to leave PVF due to one or two things that was going on in the background that I didn't feel too happy with. I then went into Bangladesh national team coach. Again, it was about testing myself and developing as a coach. I spent 6 weeks there with Andrew, and Andrew wanted to bring me to Air Force. So when Andrew explained to me the project, it was too good an opportunity to turn down to come to such a great club. And then, like they say, the rest is history, and I'm now here. And it was the right choice, and I'm thoroughly happy. When I first came to Air Force, I met a very ambitious man in Kunsaran. And I remember we had dinner and he explained to me his project and what he wanted to try and do. And I realised his passion and his love for this football club. And for the first time in a long time, I actually met someone that it's not about the money. It's about doing the best for this football club and trying to get it back to where it is. Under Andrew, we had some successful times, but I've always had a plan for myself in what I would do one day when I became manager. So when the opportunity was given to me to become manager here, I spoke with Kunsaran and I said, I want to give you and the supporters the good old days. And given the opportunity, I'll do that. I want us to play a game, a beautiful game, what football is. I want to give this football club an identity where when people play Air Force, they talk about how good we play football, how athletic we are, how quick we are, how powerful we are, and how passionate we are about putting on that jersey. So the project that I bring to you now is I'm going to give you a team that's going to play quick, attractive, powerful football where it's exciting. People want to watch us play. People know when they play against us how we're going to perform, but they won't be able to stop us. I want to bring the club together, the young Eagles, which I've already started doing, with the young Robinsons up to play for the first team. I want to help develop the academy. I want to help develop the Robinsons along with the B team. I want to be able to help produce own players, homegrown players from our own province, rather than the likes of BGs or the Brahams, to mention a few, coming into our provinces and taking our best players. And I want to deliver trophies. I want to win things. And I want to be competing with the best. And I promise you, that's what we'll do.